Okay, so this is the Intuitive Energy Medicine membership for 2021, and I'm excited about it. Let's see if I can pin my own video here before I go away. That might make it easier for you guys. And there we go. All right, so Intuitive Energy Medicine membership, what the heck is it? So today we're going to cover a few things. We're going to cover what it is to join this membership with me in 2021. So I'm going to introduce my credentialing, so who I am as a doctor, and also who I am, more importantly, who I am as a medical intuitive. I'm going to tell a little bit about my story and how I came into this work, and in particular because that will help me express what my values are. And so that is the most important part of my work. So I want you to be aligned with my values, or at least for them to resonate with you if you're going to work with me. I will go through what a medical intuitive reading is, all the parts of the reading. So that includes the body map, what that is and how that works, the window of health, what that is, and then the other aspects of the reading. I'm also going to include what's included if you decide to do the membership version, and then who would the membership be the best for, and who would it be better just to continue on with getting regular medical intuitive readings instead. And what does the membership cost, how to save money with using it, and then how to join. All right. So first, this is, I think actually a lot of you may know me as a naturopathic physician, but this is the doctor version of me. So my doctor credentials, I am a naturopathic physician in Washington State. I did my internship actually in homeopathy with a man named Dr. Joel Shepard in Illinois. He was someone who had trained with the descendants of Kent, so he was pretty great guy. I did my residency in internal medicine and IV therapies in Everett, Washington. And I have advanced training in psychoneuroimmunology with Dr. Klinghardt. I have training in RubyMed therapy, restorative medicine, and MTHFR, kind of my advanced trainings. And I'm certified now in live blood analysis, which has been kind of fun. So I also, my practice is really more around kind of energy medicine. I'm a very intuitive doctor, and I do a lot with chronic disease, Lyme, a lot with kids, attention deficit and autism make me, I get excited working with kids like that. And then recently I'm also doing Zumba and Zumba Gold just to keep myself happy. So that's me as a naturopathic doctor. And then the other side of me really is a little bit more wild. I am a medical intuitive. I've been doing medical intuitive work since 2013. And I actually am a third generation healer in my family. I come from a long line of weirdos, as you'll see on my story. And I've been a Reiki master for 20 years. I did massage therapy and craniosacral work and all of that for about 18 years. I also was trained in something called SRI, which is the somatic respiratory integration, which is kind of a conjunctive therapy that's done with network spinal analysis for helping people with breath work and integrating when they're doing network. I've also been taught for many years as a massage therapist. I taught anatomy, physiology, pathology, and different energy work modalities. And I have the pieces of me that are an artist, a writer. I've been an empath since birth. So this medical intuitive realm has been really helpful for me to be able to take my work out of the empathy realm and just get it onto a page so that I can be a lot more objective with and clear with my reads. This is my body map currently. So we'll teach you what a body map is coming up here, but that body map, this is kind of how I feel about my own energy being right now. And you can see for me right now, I'm really focused with my arms into my heart center and into keeping my life and my values. And I'm being lifted by spirit. Just gonna double check everybody's okay. You know, yes, okay. So I want to just tell you a little bit about my story so that you know a little bit about me. I was born and raised in rural Montana, off the grid, actually. My parents bought a farm from my grandpa for very little money when I was little, and we had 140 acres, and we were pretty much raised off the land. So my earliest memory actually from my childhood, I was it was, my birthday's in May, and I was walking outside behind my house, and it was still really winter in Montana at that point. It usually is in May. And I remember I was an empath then too, and I have 3 siblings, and it was a very small house, and I remember just feeling like heavy and not feeling good emotionally. And it was my birthday, and I wanted it to be more special. And I walked out, and I probably was only like 4 or 5 at this point. And I remember I walked over the hill behind my house, and I looked, and the whole side of the hill had just blossomed these beautiful crocus flowers through the snow. So there was still snow, but the spring had just kind of cracked through. And at that time, I remembered feeling like nature and all of the spiritual aspect of nature was, gifting me my birthday. And when I think about how I want other people to feel and what I want as the basis of my work, I think that's pretty close. To me, we're all divine beings, and we have that capacity to feel like we are supported completely by life and by that divinity, and through the natural world, including our health. So I think that's my foundation. That's what I'd like people to feel when they're coming to see me. There's also a big aspect of that for me that is about beauty. And beauty is central to my work. I think healing is about, some people refer to healing as walking in beauty. And I think that's a very good phrase for me. I think finding the beautiful in each of us and allowing it to express even through chaos is central. I also found that peace is available to all of us in nature, and I think it's kind of our birthright. And that was a piece of me growing up with the land, is that I just understood that peace is kind of a natural thing, a natural way of being that we get kind of far away from when we're running our daily lives. So those are kind of the foundation for me. Then I wanted to talk about a little bit about my family story also, because I think ancestry is a huge part for all of us, and in some ways good and bad. But in my case, I had some amazing ancestors. I have. I come from a line actually of Scottish healing women, and probably most importantly, my grandmother didn't really think about herself as a healer, but she definitely pioneered the healing in our family that I was aware of. I was told later that we had many relatives going back that did healing work. But my grandmother, as I knew her, was a pianist, and she was a philanthropist. At her time, she did a lot of volunteer work and activist work, more for churches and things. And she was involved with the Edgar Cayce group, and she got involved more with healing when my grandfather had actually he was a U.S. senator, and he was standing near the garage one day, and the garage door shut on his head, and he actually ended up having an aneurysm form from that and went into a coma. And they were expecting him to die from it. But my grandmother had been working with the Edgar Cayce people at that point, and she actually went and engaged the help of a spiritual leader in that community, who came and worked with her and my grandfather while he was in the coma. And although all the medical doctors had said he would pass, the Swami guy came in and actually said he'll wake up and he'll be around, but he will be completely different. And he did. He awakened from the coma that next day, after being in a coma for weeks, and lived for 2 more years. So I think that was a really inspiring thing for my grandmother, and helped the rest of our family really wake up to what's possible. My mother was the youngest of 5 girls, and so my aunts have been really influential for me in my healing life. This picture is one of my aunts, named Kathleen, has a healing yurt in Absaroka, Montana, and this is where we've done women's workshops since I was probably before I was 20, so 20 plus years. My Aunt Kathleen is one of the most, possibly the most amazing healer I've ever met. Um, she is amazing in so many ways. It's hard for me to boil it down, but I think when I think about what she has taught me and what she mentors me in, the primary value I feel from her is love. She just truly gets out of the way and brings love in, and it's almost unlimited in its capacity to heal. So this life I got to grow up with, healing women in the wilderness, made a huge difference on my path. Those things actually happened a little bit after this, probably in my 20s as well. When I was 19 is when I became a Reiki master and started to do this healing work. Before that, I was just a regular kid for the most part. I think I shut my empathy down most of my life as much as I could because it was a little bit scary for me. And when I was in high school, my Aunt Ray, who was the oldest of the daughters, she came and woke me back up, so to speak. So my healing journey started with my Aunt Ray demanding that I come into the kitchen one day in her house in Wichita, Kansas, and she told me that she had a cyst on her shoulder. It was about the size of a quarter, and it was sticking out, about half an inch. And she said, put your hands on that and heal it, make it go away. And I was 16 and didn't know what a biology club nerd, so I don't know how to do that. But she's like, do it anyway. And Ray was someone who did what she said. So I tried. I put my hands on her shoulder, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I just basically prayed for help. I was like, help, do this. And then I really put everything I had into it. I was like, I'm going to try as hard as I can. I don't know what I'm trying to do, but I'm going to do my best. And I held on to her for about 20 minutes. I noticed my hands got really hot, and that was kind of weird. And then I took my hands off, and it was gone. The entire cyst had disappeared off of her arm. So that scared me pretty good, and shook me a little, and got me thinking. And she showed up again. I didn't talk about it or think about it. I just kind of went back to my life. And she showed up again right after I graduated from high school. And that time she said that her doctor had told her she needed to get a knee replacement because her knee was worn out. And she would like me to fix that. So arguing was futile, and my mother helped me with that one. We tried putting her on a table on the back deck, actually, and we both just tried to work on her for an hour and do whatever. We didn't know what we were doing, but just held our hands on her and prayed, basically. And that time, when I went to walk away from the table, she had no pain when we were finished, and she actually had no pain for about 6 months after that. But I couldn't walk. I had developed during that healing pain in my opposite side leg to the point where I couldn't stand. And I had severe debilitating pain in my leg for about 2 hours after that. So that was kind of the beginning of my healing adventure. And my Aunt Ray has come and gone through my life at each time when I need to be shaken and awakened, so to speak, to getting back on my path. Telling me to be courageous and do my work. So I'm grateful to her for that. I think the values that I really got from my family, and I forgot my mother. Oh goodness. So my mother, was an activist and an individualist and incredibly courageous, ahead of her time. Raising us off the grid in rural Montana was not a normal thing for Republicans in the area. And I think my mother also, she just let me be who I was, which was a huge thing, and promoted us to really express who we were fully and figure that out. So I think my family, my female side of my family, really, they brought in some really important things to my value system. In particular, love. So just working through love is the foundation of my work. Trust. I think if I could describe my mother in any way, I think somehow she just magically trusts that life will work out for her, and somehow it always does. She's taught that to me over and over. And then I guess the other word I'd use is harmony for the rest of that, is that we all have gifts. Each of us has an individual gift, and when we work together, we can create this beautiful magical thing. And then we have the masculine side of my family. So my parents actually spent my childhood building a solar underground pyramid house in Montana. They had been in the Peace Corps in India, and when they came back, I think they were a little disillusioned with how much greed and excess they were finding in the social environment around them. And so they decided to just build their dreams, make this this pyramid there to represent their, I don't know if it was representative. It was my dad's vision to build a pyramid there. And they also decided to make it a solar underground pyramid. So it's completely sustainable by itself, and can be off the grid. So watching my parents do this in my childhood helped me to understand a few things here. One was, you can have a vision and you can I'm neither. My father was a social worker. My mother was a gifted education counselor. They did not know how to build a pyramid, or a house even for that matter, but they went after it and they did it, and planned it and worked it out. And so here's a little article. I think they call my dad a mole man on this, because it's an underground in the back, and in the front is all a solar panel windows. So it's a passive solar, not solar panels, passive solar underground house. This, coming from the 1970s, was evidence for me of a few things. One, you can have a vision. You can not really know what you're doing, but you can do it. Just step and do it. One building block at a time, right? And also, it's off the grid. So it can be a little beyond its time, and that's okay. They got a lot of help from their community through that whole process, and still to this day, they've gotten a lot of help from that community in helping to build a vision of something new. So that was a big piece. I think the main things that I take from the masculine, my father was a very quiet but strong, and he wasn't always quiet. He was brilliant, and he was actually a musician sometimes, but he was a very wise person, I thought. And he was very compassionate, and he was very passionately driven, and very engaged in social interaction. And so when I sit down and think what values I got from my father and from the masculine aspect of my life, I came up with wisdom, compassion, humility. He was incredibly humble, and then unity, because I think in order to build something, we have to work together. So if I wanted to tell you, who am I? What's my work? It's hard to explain what these readings are without having one, because they are completely individual every single time, and I get all sorts of information of cool stuff from everywhere. But I would say that where I would put the boundaries on this work are, this is my intention with my work, to sustain these values. This is just, this is not a sigil, although I guess it could be. This is actually what I meditate on every day to keep myself centered in my own values, in my own heart. And I find that it actually helps me to keep my focus and to keep me in guidance about where I want to go, and also to protect me when things are a little bit challenging. All right, so here are my values. So if you're going to come work with me, this is what I care about. 1, beauty. We are all divine by nature, in my opinion. 2, peace. Peace is our natural state, and it is our birthright. So it is okay to come back to that. And I think if each of us can start feeling more peace inside, then we will find it outside. Harmony. We need our own unique expression is perfect. It's perfect to fit the rest of the song, right? So we all need to hold our own expression so that we can resonate with one another. Trust. I choose to trust, and I like to call it catch the fear. which is a poem I wrote a long time ago. But when I get afraid, I like to catch the fear and try to work on going back into trust. Love. Love is the central guidance of my life and hopefully my actions. And truth. I speak and live my truth is my value. All right. So the way that I saw this, I'm a very, you'll see as I go through my body map, but I have a very kind of masculine and feminine way of looking at everything. And this first grouping is really the feminine aspect of me. I think beauty, peace, harmony, trust, love, and truth, the feminine love, unconditional love, the feminine truth, standing in knowing, right? In a cooperative and communicative way with others. Those are the feminine aspects. The masculine love and the masculine truth. For me, the masculine love is very directive and forceful. It will defend and protect with love everything that I value. I'll be passionate about the sacred. The masculine truth is I'm in integrity with my beliefs. I will stay strong with what I believe. Wisdom, I allow and take action if appropriate. Compassion, I am a servant of the divine. That's what I'm here for. Humility, I nurture and guide my ego because I've seen what happens when you don't. And unity, through community, we evolve. If you're working with me, these are just, I thought I would just do a little shout out. So these are kind of some of the guides I tend to work with a lot, my own team. And if you want, sometimes I do something called the 12 exercise where you kind of call in your own values and use them as anchors, and you can call in your own avatars, your own guides to help you. So these are some of the ones that I continually work with. All right, so those are my values. And what else? As we would say, off of Ice Age. I have, when I started naturopathic medicine school, they made us all come up with our mission statement, of course, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to be a doctor for? And, you know, it was kind of funny. I didn't really want to be a doctor. I wanted to be a teacher when I went back. And the naturopathic doctors I knew were just incredibly brilliant, and they seemed to know a lot about everything. So I figured that would be the best degree. And when I got into it, I kind of fell for it a little and got into doing the work anyway. But my vision was to change the face of medicine. That's the one that came out of me. And it's still staying in there in my subconscious. I'm here to change the face of medicine. So whatever that means. And I feel like when I really analyze what that means, I think this work, this medical intuitive work, is for me the way that could occur, how I could contribute to it. My goal, I think, in order for us to have a global health aspect, a community of healthy people, it's going to take us promoting the things that make us healthy. And that has to be done one person at a time, and it has to be motivated by us individually. So we need to stop. I think as a collective, I would like to promote empowerment of people to see their own beauty, to make the right choices and use their own intuitive guidance system to figure out how to do that effectively in their own lives. I believe we all can get through our lives that way. And we need to stop as a collective group being motivated. Healthcare in particular needs to stop being motivated by greed and start valuing connection of health over profit. So my goal and my vision is to use this work to transform, help people transform their lives so that they're living completely authentically from where they are, and they get their health back if they're seeking that, so that they can go and change everyone else's life in a chain until we finally don't need the greedy version of medicine anymore. Okay. So there's my soapbox, so to speak, and I will get off it now. But that's me. I want to change the world through helping people see how amazing they are, one person at a time. So how do I do that? So medical intuitive readings. I started doing these medical intuitive readings when my guides one day just showed me how to draw a body map and told me how to use it. So I'm going to kind of explain what a medical intuitive reading is, because I don't know if some of you have had readings from me, but hopefully you'll get through this part okay. So the goal of a medical intuitive reading is to explore underneath the diagnosis, generally, of what's going on with your health, to look at causative factors. I do like to see, we use our intuition to see what are the main contributing factors to what's going on with your health. But more importantly than figuring out the diagnosis, I feel like my type of work is about your guidance of how to systematically make choices that will guide you toward your health. I think of it as a compass to health versus most of the amazing medical intuitives that I've seen work. They scan your body field. A lot of them, the majority are not trained as doctors, actually, and they scan your field and they can pick up energetically what's going on with you, and tell you, look here, look here, look here, and then you can go to the doctor and have the doctor run the tests and tell you whether or not that diagnosis is accurate. And that is lovely and amazing. That's really not me. I am trained as a doctor, so I can use my doctor brain and my doctor tools to diagnose for most things. And what I use the medical intuitive readings for is to look beyond all of that. Look for the snapshot of health. Look for the thing that actually helps you navigate through a lot of health factors that exist and narrow down to the ones that will be most effective in getting you back to you. So usually in a reading, the reading has two parts. It's got a body map and a window of health, I call it. And I try to narrow the readings down to just 2 or 3 kind of health factors usually, because these can get complicated if we go into too many things. And each reading has the body map, each reading has a window of health, and each reading has a chakra, which one's in balance and out of balance. And then there's what I call systems of support, which is things your guides give you to help you support you no matter what's going on with your health. So what is a body map? So a body map is a picture I draw of your energy field before I see you. I sit down and do a meditation and I tap into you, and I only do that with permission, obviously. And then I draw a picture for myself. And I call it a map for 2 reasons. One, I see it as a map of your energy field that I have a key for. I'm a very detailed person, and so I have a lot of things that each area of the map represent. Okay, and so the map is for me to indicate, what's going on for you. What does this mean? What does this mean? And how can I tell you about where I'm seeing your life intuitively right at that moment? And it's also a map because it's meant to be used by you. So the idea with the map is to put it up on the wall or look at it occasionally. And every time you're feeling off track with where you're going with your health, you go back to your map and use it as guidance in making your choices moving in your life towards health. So I am going to kind of give you a general overview of kind of some of the things that you can see on the body map so you know what it's about. There's also a whole video on this on my website if you want to check out a lot more extensive explanation of that. But all body maps are done, so everybody's is individual. And like I said, each one is done every time you have a reading. So they don't look the same. They aren't the same generally very often. There's a snapshot of just what's going on that can come through on the map. So my daughter was kind enough to let me use one of her old maps for this. So in this picture, she was like scaling a cliff and she was hanging off by one of her arms, and she was like belaying herself up the mountain with this other arm. She just had all these things going on in her life emotionally. She's not a rock climber, right? This was a metaphor for feeling like life was being really challenging for her. And she was kind of being held up by the feminine side and using her masculine side to pull her life the direction she wanted to go. So one of the things the map shows is what's going on just in general. The guides are trying to show what's the general impression of what's happening for you in your life right now. What are the main things going on they'd like you to look at? And then each map actually has a right and a left side. So the left side of the page, or the right side of the page, or the left arms, the left side of the body is actually the feminine aspect, and the right side's a masculine aspect. So you'll see actually the balance of the masculine and feminine being expressed in the map. in the map also, the hair, for example, will represent how other people see you use your power in the world. The face represents how people see you in the world. The arms represent how you feel you can give and how you receive best. Your legs and your feet are how you're feeling supported and connected to your family of origin usually, or if you're rooted and grounded in life, that sort of thing. And then each one kind of goes through all the chakras here. So the chakras are represented by these little circles on this map. And each chakra, it shows me a color. So I know for her, she was having an imbalance in her second chakra here. There was something going on with lower back stuff. And in particular in the second chakra issue, that color gray is the gray area. Usually something's going on there. And it looks like it had to do with the past for her. Every single color on the map means something to me. So for example, she has 3 arms. This is a pretty exciting map, but she's doing a lot in her life. She feels like she's very active. And one of her arms is what I call the superpower color, where she's using her superpowers to act in her life. And this color is what I call feisty love in action, which means that she's very diligent and militant almost about how she's loving others, loving them towards their potential in a kind of a structured way. So those are just examples of how the body map comes through. They're exciting and they're fun. All right. And then each reading also has what I call the window of health. And the window of health is, I call it that because it's 8 factors that I consider to be the helpful ones in determining the basis for health. And it's a window on my form because it looks a little bit like a window and it's boxy. So this is what the actual window of health looks like, kind of like that. And the factors it covers are, and inside the window or the window panes of the window are kind of the factors that we can do more about. They kind of cloud us up and help keep us from shining through. So those are the easiest ones to take care of and do things about. And those include infection. So that's 1. Environment or toxicity is 2. Allergies is 3. Structural and genetic imbalances is 4. And then we have the frame of the window. So these are a little harder to shift, harder to do. They take a little bit more time and effort to move. And those are beliefs. So limiting beliefs and structures of beliefs are number 5. Number 6 is ancestral patterns. And number 7 is stress factors in general, oftentimes geopathic stress. So that'll be like earth stressors or major physical stressors of your environment and other things. And then I have a category called 8, which is the category of everything else, pretty much. So sometimes on readings, I'll get everything from past lives to entities, all sorts of things that we're not really thinking are main supporters of health when we are doing medicine in the world. All right, so that's window of health. And the reading usually starts with the body map and I describe all the way through it. And then I go through the window of health and we give you really specific guidance on details. So when I get my guidance, and you'll see this when we do the demo, but I usually on one subject, I will get a guidance of numbers. So I'll get like 4 and 2, right? So I'll know that within the 4th category of lifestyle factors that has something to do with musculoskeletal or nutrition, then I can narrow down and tell you what exact things we need to focus on from that area. Or 2 would be, a detox area. So is this toxic environment for you that we need to work on? And then each reading has 1 chakra that is considered the imbalance for the reading. So what's the primary thing that's out of balance? And then 1 chakra for support. So for example, in that last reading, her second chakra was out of balance. And when you have a second chakra out of balance, since a lot of times people who don't have their second chakra imbalance will feel like they're not able to stand in their power. They're not able to step up and take emotional risks. That's kind of an idea with the second chakra imbalance. And then her 6th chakra was her balancing chakra or her support. So for her, it took her actually tapping into her intuition, really listening and getting connected in here so that she would know what to do so she could take the correct steps in her life at that point. And like I said before, every reading also has the systems of support, it's called, which is just guidance from your guides directly saying, when you're having a hard day, go to these things. So that can vary everything from music to, correct use of feminine and masculine power, all across the board. Those are usually, my guides are pretty cheeky and they usually have a lot of puns. So that can be a fun and silly adventure. All right. So that's what a standard medical intuitive reading is. All right. So what I want to be clear with on this webinar is you can always just get a medical intuitive reading, right? A medical intuitive reading is $250. You can buy it on my website. I also have Just the Window of Health as a 30-minute reading. Anytime you want, you can just get either of those. And they are fun, they're helpful, they're extremely useful in changing your life as far as looking at yourself in that perspective, and they're available. Why I developed this membership though was because I had a few people that just felt like it was time to take this to the next level. And so over the last year, I've had, I think 13 people go through the membership now, and it was amazing. So my goal with the membership was, okay, now let's take this and transform your life. You know, don't just snapshot and then get a few changes and then let it peter off. What happens if we do this regularly and really stay on top of it and just work with this aspect over time and see what happens? And what I was blown away. Actually, I have high aspirations for things, but I don't always see that manifest to the level it did. And I'm so deeply grateful for the group that has come through. They're amazing. So, and they have transformed hugely over the last few months. So I really think the reason to do this membership is because you're ready to take a deep, huge dive into it. All right. So go ahead and get a reading if you want to play with that. If you're ready to just transform your life, is what this option is for. So the membership is regular readings and regular check-ins and group check-ins in order to facilitate transformation of your health. And so usually in webinars, we're like, here's the stuff you get. So here's the stuff you get. In your readings, you get one actual full reading a month. So this medical intuitive reading, that's 90-minute reading with a body map, right? That's once a month. So when you start your membership, you'll get one of those every single month. And then you'll get one 30-minute check-in a month. So that's just the window of health. And we narrow in the middle of the month and say, how are you doing? You staying on track? You know, where are we going with this? Do we need to tweak it? And then every month there's going to be a group exploration and healing. So everybody brings what they've been doing with their body map and their own lives in, and we collectively focus. Well, the first group usually is an intention setting group for how that group, you will stay with your pod, so to speak. So the group, that the wave you go through with together will be the same group. And we set an intention, and then we use that to facilitate healing with each other, to build connection, so we always feel like we can come back for support. And I found it actually has been really useful for feeling protected as things are a little strange in the outside world lately. Then you get one free intuitive supplement check. So that basically is sitting down with me for 20 or 30 minutes, and we pull all your supplements out and we actually go through them, right? And I help you intuitively figure out which ones are working for you, which ones aren't working for you. And that is something that it needs to be done on certain intervals. And so that one, you get one free, just so you know what you're dealing with there. And then you guys will get a 15% off discount on any of them if you want any more of those in the future. They usually run $85, so that'll be $70 for you guys. And then you get 3 times a year, so custom meditation direct from your guide. So actually I have great fun with these. So we basically sit down and I just do a direct guided meditation from your guide specific to you for what's happening in your life. And those have been really different from each other. But lots of fun. And then you can get 10% off your full script orders. That's just my online supplement company. You get 15% off if you suddenly need intuitive bodywork and need to come in for a session. And then you get one free energy medicine course per year. So I will be rolling out a whole bunch of courses this year, and you will not be able to buy an 8-module course for free, but you'll be able to take at least one of the event classes like emotional hygiene or one of those other ones. You will get one free per year. All righty. So that's what you get. I want to just make a little sidebar here and say why you would do this also instead of seeing me as a naturopathic doctor. So I want to just delineate a little. I am not acting as a naturopathic doctor in the IM medicine membership. It's called energy medicine, but it's not me being a doctor. So if you need a naturopathic doctor, I'm still working as a naturopathic doctor. I'm out of network with insurance now, so my visits are cash only going forward from March. So if you need primary care, if you need me to write you prescriptions or do a medical exam or prescribe supplements, all of the stuff that naturopathic doctors do, really do intensive work with your nutrition, that sort of thing, you would actually want to come to me at the naturopathic office and do that aspect. So this gives you lots of guidance, and obviously I can't shut off my doctor brain, so I'm going to use my experience in helping you be intuiting what you need for your life. But I'm not going to be writing prescriptions, and I'm not going to be acting under my license as a naturopathic physician in any way. All right. So this membership is for changing the world, right? Naturopathic doctoring is awesome, but it's just being that. So how will you know if this is the right thing for you? So here are the things that I have come up with that would be the questions that I would ask or answer that I think would help you understand that. Number one, I am ready to change my life. There has been not a single person who has done this that hasn't had a huge life transformation. So if you're ready to play, this will transform your life and your health so far in my experience. Two, I am willing to use my gifts to serve. First thing that happens when you transform your health is your superpowers start busting out all over the place and you're ready to play, right? Seems like you're ready to go out to the world and use your gifts in service to others. Three, I'm willing to nurture and guide my ego. So I am not gonna light step around this. This is not easy sometimes. This can be very challenging. I don't think healing is all woo and la la, right? It can be. It can be wonderfully, exquisitely, ecstatically amazing, and it can be doing the hardest work of your life. So I want you to agree that if you're doing this program, you will need to put yourself in a position of loving, caring towards yourself, and be gentle with yourself as you guide yourself through the changes that this process facilitates. And I do think the body map is particularly helpful in showing you your beauty, showing you that part of yourself so you remember how amazing you are, and then keep being gentle with that part and guide it along, right? So, but I'm not, if you're here, if you have any intention of competing with other people, this is not your group. If you need to be a bigger, medicine person than someone else, this is not your group. This is not about me. I'm having fun, but this is actually about transforming you so that you can be of service at your highest level possible. And that's some work sometimes. 4, I'm ready to embody my power. Enough said. 5, I'm ready to express myself to the world. I'm going to stand in this and I'm going to do this. And 6, I'm ready to work with others to evolve. I think we're moving into cooperation here. I think we're evolving to a complex consciousness that's going to be pretty cool. And I think these groups are a great place to meet people who are doing the same work to do that. All right. And then I also, this hasn't been super successful yet, so I may not need to do it, but I have an online group also for facilitating conversations online. I don't use Facebook groups because I'm not crazy about Facebook this week. And I've got a lot of complaints about Facebook groups. So we have right now the current chat. Your pod, if you join the pod, will be on a online support chat through the Wix app right now. And I'm transitioning my website, so I'll probably put that into a different platform. But there is an option here to actually just have a support group online in a private group with people who are going through this transformation so that you can actually talk to others that might understand what you're talking about. All right. So that's why to do it. And what does it cost? So last year, the program, I did have a joining fee. I decided to just drop the joining fee. I think it makes more sense. So the way that I'm doing this program going into 2021, it costs for an individual is $286 a month. And then in order to join, you do have to put half of that down. The next group pod starts on February 15th. So if you wanted to join, you'd need to put down $143 or half of that $143 whenever you decide to sign up. And then you'll be charged on February 15th, the other half, right? So, and then you'll start the $286 month billing on, the 15th of each month after that. This does require a 6-month commitment, and I decided to do that because honestly, no one has dropped at all. They've done quite the opposite. They don't want to leave ever. But I do think you're going to realistically be in here for 6 months minimum if you want to do this and transform. And it's good to just commit to it and stay with it. I'm only taking 8 members per wave. I think that is important to me. I need the pods to be the right size and in order to facilitate that group healing dynamic. And I think 8 is the number that is working the best. And then if you want to pay for it in advance, so it's $286 a month, but I do have discounts. If you want to pay, quarterly or every 6 months or annually, you can get the discounts there. All right. So, and then I have a couple of other discounts. One is for couples. So if you want to join with your mate, you get to save $86 a month. So that a couples membership is $486 a month. And a couples membership, each person gets everything, right? So each of you would have the 90-minute and the 30-minute and the group and all that stuff per month. And I offer a Sage discount, which is for people over 65. Sage is over 65. And they are $226 a month. So either of those will work. All right, so one more time, there are only 8 slots, and the membership for this pod starts on February 15th. You'd have to sign up before then, so you have to sign up sometime between now and February 14th if you want into that pod. And if you decide, and like I said, you'll be paying $143 at the time you sign up. It'll ask for you to make a payment there, and that will be your payment. And then you'll have to pay, they will charge your first $143 on February 15th. And then they will charge you the $286 starting in March 15th after that. All right. And if you decide you want to pay quarterly, then you get a 2.5% discount. And I tried doing the math on that. So I think then that if you paid quarterly, that's every 3 months, right? It would cost $836.55. If you pay every 6 months, you get 5% off, which is $1,630.20. And if you want to pay annually, you get 8% off, which is then $3,157.44. A lot of weird numbers there. So that should be also in your packet. All righty. So there is the money and the timing. So, and then I want to just step through how you do join if you want to join. I was informed that my joining process is not intuitive yet. I am working on starting a new platform, but that I'm finding is to be very complicated. So it's coming probably within the next 3 months. But for right now, you guys are on the old school system. So this is how it would work if you want to join. So you're going to actually go to my website, which is it's either draubreywallace.com or lovebeingyou.info. And you're going to, so I'm going to actually walk you guys through this. So I know I need to stop the share just for a second and get that other website up. And I probably get out of that. Probably should check and see if anybody got knocked out of the meeting. Nope. All right. There we go. Website. Sorry. There we go. Okay, now I'll start the share again. Okay, so when you get to my website, it looks like this. And you're actually going to go, let me make sure you guys can see this. You thumb me up, Erin, if you can see the website. Awesome, thank you. All right, so you're gonna go to the website and you're going to click memberships here on this tab, and you're gonna go under Intuitive Energy Medicine membership, okay? So when you get there, you'll get to this page and it'll tell you what you get again. And then you want to scroll down and push I'm ready when you're ready to join. So this is the place you go if you want to join the membership. And the whole thing is an online platform to join. So you can call me if you need to, but this is probably what I'll direct you back to doing. All right, so when you do that, you should be taken to the HINT platform, which is the group that handles my enrollment. And they will say you are enrolling under Dr. Aubrey Wallace is the name of the enrollment platform. So you're going to enter your information here. And the one thing I want you to look at for sure is when you scroll down, you want to make sure that it says your plan is the IEM 2021 membership. So that then you'll know that you're on the right plan. And actually, most of this plan is a virtual plan. So most of the stuff is done online, so you can keep your recordings. But you do have the option of doing in-office visits if you request them. And my office is in Snohomish, Washington. So you're going to fill out all of this stuff, your address, your membership. So you're going to say that you're filling it in for yourself. Obviously, you can put your gender if you'd like or not. And it does ask for the pronouns here. And then if you decided you were joining as a couple, you'd want to add your other person under add adult right here when you're joining. Okay. Once you've done that portion, it'll break down and the money part for you. Then you have to enter your payment information to join, and they'll let you either use a bank account or a credit card. And I will say it's a lot cheaper for me if you use the bank account, but we are happy with any way of paying. And then you'll come down here to the agreements form. There is one here that I have not been able to remove that says I authorize Dr. Abuelas to send an email or text which may include unencrypted protected health information. I need to just disclose I will never share your health information with anyone for any reason. So that you can click it if you want, but I'm not going to do that. This one, however, you do need to sign. So this, if you click that, is going to be, this is the membership contract. So you want to go ahead and read this and that it explains how the membership works, when you're charged, that it's that $286 amount, that you got to do the $143, and then you'll be charged again on the 15th when you start your membership, that it's necessary to be in the membership for 6 months. It'll say that I'm not being your doctor at all. I'm being a medical intuitive doing this. And then it explains what happens if you can terminate after the 6 months anytime for any reason. There is no termination fee or anything. The only issue is if you want to restart the membership after that point. So if you decided to terminate early or something, and you need to restart, there's a $200 fee to restart the membership in the future. That hasn't been a problem. And then there's a whole bunch of legal stuff just saying that, you know, you're agreeing to this and I'm giving it to you. And then down here, these are the covered services. So this will say, again, what I've told you now 4 times, all the things you get. So you will have to sign this, type your name and sign it and press accept in order to sign up for the membership. Once you do that, you'll get a confirmation that says, yay, you're in the membership. And then I will be sending you a confirmation email that has a login for you to get back into the website, into your special membership page. So, and right now I am going to just show you, once you receive that email, you want to actually go under the IEM members page when you go back to the website. So you can get in there from 2 ways. One's under the membership page, and I will be giving you the code to get in here. And the other one is under just booking. So if you ever want to just look under the booking page, it's there at the bottom IEM page. When you get into that page, there will be a video that shows you how to navigate through the membership in general, and that will be helpful. Okay, so we are back to, now we are done with that portion. So I think I will go ahead and stop the recording.